With comic book characters who have been around for decades, it can sometimes be difficult to keep track of the source of a hero and their villain's rivalries. Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Andrew Boyd, and today we will be looking at the top 10 reasons the Reverse Flash hates the Flash. There have been multiple Flashes and multiple Reverse Flashes who have hated each other for different reasons depending on the continuity, so try to keep up as we dive into the lore of the fastest man alive. Let's start our list with the most recent Reverse Flash, Daniel West. He is the brother of longtime Flash love interest Iris West. When Daniel's mother died giving birth to him, his father spent the next few years taking out all of his anger on his son. This culminated in Daniel pushing his father down a flight of stairs, paralyzing him. Realizing that his sister would never look at him the same way, he ran away and became a criminal. Which leads us to the first reason he hates Barry Allen's Flash. Number 10. Arrested by the Flash. In the New 52 continuity, the first appearance of the Flash was when he stopped a car that was fleeing a bank robbery. It was a dramatic debut, but little did he know that the getaway driver was Danny West, who was attempting to pull his first major score and who would eventually become one of the Reverse Flashes. Getting busted and sent to jail by the Flash is as good a reason as any to have a bit of a grudge against him, but things escalated when he was released 5 years later. Number 9. Flash prevented his patricide. After his release, Danny tried to make amends with his sister Iris, but she was not ready to forgive him. He got into an accident involving a Speed Force battery, which gave him the ability to turn back time, and he became the latest Reverse Flash. He decided to go back in time to kill his father so that his sister would love him again. He attempted this and accidentally caused himself and Iris more trauma when their younger selves walked in on the attempt. Flash stopped him and put him in prison, but his sister was so appalled at his actions that she disowned him as a brother, leaving him totally alone. And it's all because the Flash stopped his plan. Next, let's look at a couple reasons why the second most well-known Reverse Flash, Hunter Zolomon, hates the Wally West Flash. Number 8. Flash refused to save him. Hunter Zolomon was a profiler who worked for the Keystone City Police in their Department of Metahuman Hostilities. He was good friends with Wally's Flash, and the two often worked together to put away criminals. When Hunter was paralyzed in an attack by Gorilla Grodd, he asked Wally to use the cosmic treadmill to go back in time and prevent his injury. Knowing the unintended consequences of time travel, Wally refused, resulting in the two having a falling out. Hunter tried to use the treadmill himself and it exploded, giving him the ability to slow down time around him, giving him the appearance of super speed. He became the new Reverse Flash, otherwise known as Zoom, and decided that the reason Wally wasn't willing to help is that he didn't understand personal tragedy the way Barry Allen did. He became a supervillain, believing that by ruining Wally's life, he would make him a better hero. So, Zoom was bitter about Flash's refusal to help, but believes that he can make Wally a better hero in the long run, or at least he did. Number 7. Guilt for not helping his friend. Flash forward a few years to the Rebirth continuity, and Zoom's story is pretty much the same. He has teamed up with the other Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, and the two are working together. Zoom and Thawne get into an argument, with Zoom believing that they can still make the Flashes better heroes, and Thawne insisting that the only thing the speedsters deserve is death. Thawne ditches Zoom and gets killed by Iris West in an altercation with the Flash. Zoom feels guilty for not having gone with his friend to help him, and decides that Thawne was right, and decides to put a plan to kill the Flashes into motion. Speaking of Eobard Thawne, let's spend the rest of the list talking about him. Eobard Thawne is by far the most iconic version of the Reverse Flash. He is a time traveler from the 25th century who has come into conflict with multiple Flashes over the years. Let's briefly go over why he hates the Wally West version of the character before we focus on his more long-running rivalry. Number 6. He's jealous of Wally. Once Wally West had taken over as the Flash, he had a bizarre experience with the Reverse Flash. Wally was aware of Reverse Flash's history with Barry Allen, but in the chronology of Thawne's life, this was his first interaction with a Flash. In the 25th century, Thawne was a major Flash stan, getting plastic surgery to look more like Barry, collecting merch and artifacts, and even giving himself speed powers so he could go back in time and meet the Flash using a cosmic treadmill. Flash arrived after Barry's death, and for reasons we'll get into later, later had a mental breakdown and thought that he was Barry Allen. He operated as the Flash with Wally for a bit, but seeing how much Wally was being embraced as a hero and thinking that he was stealing the mantle from him, the fake Barry became jealous and left Wally to die in a death trap and decided to destroy Central City as revenge for them forgetting Barry's legacy. But let's put a pin in this story for now. Let's talk about some of the reasons Eobard Thawne hates Barry Allen. Number 5. He stranded him at the beginning of time. Over the course of their mini battles, the hatred between Reverse Flash and the Flash has grown exponentially, but while this was occurring, Reverse Flash was also falling in love with Barry's wife, Iris. He came into their home when Barry was away and proposed to Iris, who said no, because she loved her husband and also because Reverse Flash is a crazy psycho. Reverse Flash got his revenge by sneaking into a costume party where everyone was dressed as superheroes and killed Iris, who was dressed as Batgirl, by vibrating his hand so that it could pass through her skull and he could scramble her brain. Flash figured out Thawne's involvement and fought him in a time machine that was hurtling back through time. Flash fled the machine, leaving Thawne to hurtle towards his doom alone. Thawne was stranded alone in the pre-dinosaur age for 4 years before escaping and vowing revenge on Barry. Number 4. The Flash killed him. Once he got away from his imprisonment at the start of time, Thawne decided to get his revenge by trying to kill another of Barry's love interests. On the day that Barry was set to marry Fiona Webb, Reverse Flash returned and led Flash on a worldwide chase before heading towards the chapel to kill Fiona. Barry stopped him at the last moment by clotheslining him, but broke Thawne's neck in the process, killing him instantly. Thawne was eventually resurrected, but obviously was pretty peeved about the whole getting killed by his archenemy thing, which leads us back to his time travel adventure with Wally West that we talked about earlier. Number 3. It's simply fate. So earlier I said that Thawne was a massive Flash fan, who went back in time and had a mental breakdown. But what caused this? Well, upon arriving in the late 20th century, Thawne made a visit to the Flash Museum and looked at the exhibits on Flash's enemies. The identity of the Reverse Flash had been lost to time in the 25th century, but was common knowledge here. He saw the exhibit on the Reverse Flash and learned that he was destined to become his hero's greatest enemy, and that he would eventually end up dying at his hands. The shock of this drove him insane, and as he put it, a lifetime of adoration curdled into hatred. This is what caused him to think that he was Barry Allen during his first outing as the Reverse Flash. Wally eventually defeated him and sent him back to his own time. Thawne lost his memories of the incident and would end up believing that Barry was the first Flash that he ever fought. Number 2. He can't exist without him. After years and continuity's worth of losing to Barry Allen, Reverse Flash decided it was time to end this game of cat and mouse. He used his speed to stalk Barry for his entire life, learning everything he could about the hero, eventually discovering Flash's origin. Upon finding the moment where Barry was struck by lightning and doused with chemicals, Thawne decided that he would prevent the chemicals from spilling so that Barry never got his powers and he could be the only Flash who ever existed. Unfortunately for him, this almost caused him to blink out of existence, and he learned how linked they really were. As he himself put it, Barry must come first. He must become the Flash so I can become the Reverse Flash. No, no! The man I most want dead! The man I'd give anything to kill. He has to live, or I die. Realizing that he couldn't kill Barry, he instead decided to ruin his life. He went back to Barry's childhood and did everything he could to make it miserable. He would move around too fast to be seen and knock books out of Barry's hands, push him downstairs, and move his glove when he was playing baseball so that Barry would fail to catch the ball. Just really petty stuff to hurt this child. He progressively got more extreme, preventing Barry's childhood best friend from ever being born so that Barry would grow up lonely, and most terrible of all, Barry's mother and framing his father for the crime. Say what you want about the Reverse Flash, but he takes revenge to a whole new level. Number 1. He isn't special to Barry. But if the Reverse Flash started out as a Flash fan and doesn't have any memory of his adventure with Wally, what caused the initial spark of hatred in Eobard? Well, as I mentioned before, Thawne spent a lot of time and money recreating the Flash's powers. He did this so he could become the Flash of the 25th century. Eventually, Barry found himself in the 25th century and became friends with his successor, teaching Thawne that every second is a gift. Barry discovered discovered that the 25th century was actually a peaceful place with no need for superheroes, so Thawne had been creating the problems he was solving in order to be seen as a hero. Flash defeated Thawne and sent him to prison. Thawne made an honest effort to redeem himself and was eventually released, and wanted to show Flash how much progress he had made. He made his yellow Reverse Flash outfit because that's the color all of the Flash's partners had worn, and traveled back in time to see Barry. While in the past, he saw Barry giving Wally a watch as a graduation present with the inscription, "Every second is a gift." He realized that his relationship with Barry wasn't special, and decided to make it his life's mission to ruin Barry's. Despite his hatred, if Flash were to offer to be his friend, he would probably jump at the chance. After all, when Flash asked him why he was so obsessed with invading Barry's life, Thawne responded, "Because it's the only way you'll spend time with me." Well, those are the main reasons that the various Reverse Flashes hate the various Scarlet Speedsters. Any other hero-villain relationships you want us to take a look at? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more Top 10 Nerd.